everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Foxy and this is Foxy Books and Planning. Today I was going to do a drill with me and I was going to do the diamond painting get to know you tag that was first done by Abstract Crafter last year during one of her drill with me's, and I will link her original video with this down below, and it's actually in two parts, so I'll tag both videos down below. I wanted to do this just because diamond painting, it's, from what I've seen in the community, a lot of diamond painting videos are basically hauls, drills with me's, and finished reviews. And I've been trying to figure out ways to do more diamond painting stuff on my channel, because I think the last video I did was my inventory / haul back in March or April. And I know I'm going to have a haul coming because I have some new stuff coming from China, but it's somewhere between here and China. So I was going to start doing a drill with me series, and so I'll have a drill with me series, planner haul series, and I've got a couple other ideas of series of videos. So I'm thinking right now that I'm gonna do a once a month drill with me, and I'm gonna try and get it to about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, hopefully less, because an hour and a half is a bear to edit and upload. But there are like 25 questions to this tag, and I'm going to go through them as quickly but as thoroughly as I can. And so the picture that I'm going to be doing while I work on it, or while I go through this tag, is this guinea pig. It's from a bunch of different places, but mine is from Diamond Art Club, and it is 35 colors. And the size is 32 by 42, so essentially a 30 by 40. And this is actually a present for one of my game night friends, which, Mandy, if you're watching, happy birthday! I'm doing this for her because she has a couple of guinea pigs, and I need to get this done in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be done before her birthday. So with that, I'm going to skip you guys ahead in time after I get set up. So... that's not so bad. If it's a little bright, I do have a light board underneath my picture, just so I can see the drills better. Hopefully it won't be too terrible. Alright. Now, let us get started. I also said in one of my, my first diamond painting video I did kind of a tips and tricks type video, and I talked about how I do it in sections. So most people will do like a larger square section. I do 6 rows at a time, and if I have pieces of paper, I'll do it like however far that paper covers, 6 rows, and then the next piece of paper. Because this is plastic, I've sectioned it off using washi tape into 3 sections, and I'm going to do it that way. Alright, and the other thing that I do is I always mark out the bottom right corner on these clear ones so I can see it, so I know approximately where my line ends, because I'm not the biggest fan of these clear tops. 4, 5, 6. And I can never tell exactly where I am with them. Alright, so now that that's applied, let us get started. And I'm sorry for the clicking and stuff, but it's because I'm pulling stuff in and out of trays as I do this. So the first question in this tag is, who is Foxy Books and Planning? So I kind of did a similar thing when I did my new to booktube tag, when I did that video. I'll put it up here if you guys want to go and see it. But that one was specifically a booktube thing, but some of the questions from here in booktube are going to overlap. So I'm going to say these things more than once in case you don't want to go watch that older video. But I'm in my late 20s, I live in the Research Triangle area of not Northern Virginia, of North Carolina. And in general, I'm just a normal everyday person who just really loves books, planning, and diamond painting. And I wanted to kind of share my thoughts with the world about these kinds of things. In terms of who I am specifically, I'm not going to really say, but my favorite thing, I'm basically a normal person who just has a couple of loves that they feel get underrepresented on YouTube sometimes that I wanted to kind of shed some light on. And that kind of brings me to the second question in this tag, which is, why did you start your channel in the first place? And I started my channel, initially it was just going to be BookTube, and then the more I was thinking about it, it's like, you know, I also want to do some planner stuff, and I got into diamond painting when I first started really considering having a channel. So it was like, okay, well, let me put these 3 things together and kind of rotate through them so it's not just the same 5 or 6 videos every month. It's a wide variety of content that's going to appeal to a lot of different people and maybe introduce people with one hobby to another hobby. But originally the idea came because I had just discovered BookTube, and as I was going through BookTube, I discovered that a lot of channels only talked about one specific kind of book. And as someone who does not read that type of book often, I was just kind of amazed that all of these other great books in the world were just kind of being shoved aside because they didn't fit into this bubble. And I really wanted to talk about stuff and share my thoughts, and I got really tired of listening to people be like, well, this is a classic, but I don't understand why it's a classic, or this book really isn't for me, but this also isn't my genre. And it's like, well, you can still appreciate it if it isn't your normal genre. And if something is a classic, it's probably a classic for a reason, but everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has their own thoughts and ideas, and I'm not going to tell you what to think about a book. And I will listen to your opinions and take them on board, but at the same time, my biggest thing was, like, I'm a huge science fiction and adult fantasy person, and there was almost no representation of that in YouTube. There were a couple of people who were doing those kinds of book reviews and book talks, but they were kind of few and far between. So that's how it originally started, was I wanted to do BookTube. And then as I was thinking, I was like, well, you know, I have these other hobbies too that I also watch YouTube for, but I think being able to talk about them on YouTube without kind of limiting myself to one thing would probably be better, because then I have a wide variety of things to talk about, and I'm not constantly trying to come up with new book ideas, or how fast can I get through these books so I can have content for my channel, etc., etc. So that's question 2. Number 3 is how and why did you start diamond painting? So I started diamond painting about a year ago. I was one of those people who finally fell for the Facebook and Instagram ads that were going on at the time. If you all remember, depending on whether or not you were part of the community at the time, there were a lot of viral video ads about diamond painting that were like, come try this new craft, it's awesome. And I was kind of curious about it because it seemed like something that I would enjoy. And I ended up watching a couple YouTube videos about it and got really, really excited about it, and ended up ordering a small kind of beginner picture off of Amazon and doing that one, and was kind of hooked. So that's the how. The why, at that point in time, I was in a job that I liked. I really, really liked, but it was really, really stressful. And part of the reason that it was stressful was that I didn't have as much control over my day-to-day as I wanted to. my work product was very dependent on other people's work product. And that gave me a lot of anxiety. I still have a lot of anxiety about my job, but it has decreased significantly since I started with a new company about a month ago. And when I saw diamond painting, it was a lot of like talk about relaxation and like stress release and just kind of a creative outlet that didn't require you to create from your brain, because these canvases come with pictures and you could do whatever you wanted, but you weren't having to like think of a picture out of your brain. And that was something I was really interested in. And when I got my first one and I started doing it, I think I finished my first one in like a week or something, maybe 2 weeks, where I would come home and just sit down in front of the television and do it just do it until I couldn't sit anymore. And I found that it was a great way for me to calm my anxiety and deal with the stress of work, which at the time was hilarious because I told my boss about it a week or so into it, where I was like, we had a one-on-one. She's like, how are things going? And I'm like, everything's going really good. I have this new hobby. It's really helping me control my stress. And she asked me about it, and I told her, like, it's diamond painting. It's like paint by numbers meets cross stitch with beads. And I find it really, really helpful for my anxiety. And I was telling her about it, and she was like, that just seems really tedious. We need to find you something better to do with your time. And I was just like, this is what I want to do with my time. And I'm sorry that you don't see the benefits that I see from it. And I never talked about it at work again. But I did really, really start enjoying it as a stress reliever. And it's been a kind of stress and anxiety reliever ever since. So the next question, number 4, do you have any other hobbies or interests, and what are they? So hobbies, interests, as evidenced by my YouTube, I really like to read, mostly science fiction and adult fantasy. I have a planner and that I do stickers in every week. That it's kind of my really artistic outlet. And I'm an avid baker. My spouse and I kind of joke that I'm baking my way through the Great British Bake Off, where my goal is to do all of the challenges that the contestants are put through. I'm not doing them timed or anything like the contestants would, but I'm trying to get through like all of the dishes. So doing puff pastry from scratch, doing a Charlotte Russe, doing shaped loaves of bread, doing rye rolls, doing all of this stuff just to see it, just to do it and say that I did it, and be able to kind of show that as kind of a creative outlet for me, because my bakes aren't pretty. I'm not really a decorator. I'm learning to decorate, but it's not something that's like my passion for baking. My passion for baking is to experiment with flavors, and I really, really enjoy experimenting with them to the point where I have a potluck coming up at work, and for the sign-up, I was like, I'm making cream puffs. And then I was like, well, I can't just make any old cream puffs, because I know I can make straight cream puffs. So I was like, what if I make them peach cream puffs? And so then began the whole, okay, so how much peach do we do? Where do we put the peach? How do we incorporate the peach? And so I'm in the middle of doing test batches of those. But yeah, I really enjoy experimenting with flavors and coming up with new combinations of stuff to bake. I don't do it as often as I would like, just because I don't have anybody to give the baked goods to right now. At my last job, everybody was on a diet, and nobody ever wanted my baked goods when I brought them in. And with my new job, I don't really know my coworkers that well yet. And I don't want to bring stuff in to just leave it in the communal break room. I really want to be able to give it to the people I work with every day. Alright, so the next thing, question 5 is, what does your family think of diamond painting and your channel? So, my mother thinks diamond painting is amazing. When they came to visit after we moved houses in October, I was actually doing a diamond painting in front of her where I had just started on one, and she was amazed by it. And I actually have a diamond painting lined up to do for her for Christmas. But she really likes it. Dad thinks it's just kind of a silly hobby, but if it makes me happy, it makes me happy. My spouse is really supportive because it does help with my anxiety. And if it helps me with my anxiety, then he doesn't have to always get the brunt of it. He just kind of has to pick it up when it gets really, really bad. And as for my channel, spouse, super duper supportive of my channel, has given me some really interesting video ideas that I'm working on, but I still haven't filmed yet because I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to go about doing some of those videos. And he actually has pushed me to do some editing and uploading, especially when I got into a slump like a month or so ago. He was like, I'm going to lock you in your office and you're going to finish editing this video and you're going to upload it. And when you're done, you can come out. And that really kind of did the like, okay, Foxy, you need to get your stuff together. And you need to make sure that this gets done. Because this is ridiculous. You filmed this video 2 months ago and it's not even edited and uploaded yet. Edit the dang video, get it up. So there's at least something. Because while I'm not doing this for like money, this is not anything monetary for me. This is just for the sole joy of connecting with other people that I wouldn't connect with otherwise. It's still kind of important to post regularly, especially if you're a super small channel like me. And getting the content out for me is the hardest part. My dad doesn't really care as long as I don't show my face, which I don't, because according to him, and these are his words, not mine, don't let the evil empire get your face, because if they get your face, it will never be your face again. Which, I understand. He's had that feeling since I was a teenager, before all of the social media stuff got really big. I mean, when I was a teenager, which wasn't that long ago. Oh, shit. It was a long time ago. Like, Twitter was just becoming a thing. Instagram didn't exist. Snapchat didn't exist. It was a big deal that I didn't have a Facebook page until I was a senior in high school. That kind of stuff. But mom just kind of shook her head, and Dad was like, well, as long as you don't, share personal information or show your face, I'm okay with it. Which, I do share some personal information, but I try and keep it vague enough that it's really hard to tell what it is. And I'm sorry if you hear me slurping. I have water to help me through all of this talking. Alright. So the next question is, who are my favorite diamond painting YouTubers? So I would have to say I haven't been watching as much diamond painting YouTube lately as I used to, but my favorites are probably Abstract Crafter, which is how I found this tag to do, and Diamond Painting by Donnie, and probably, oh, what is her channel name? I feel like I'm gonna butcher it. It's KickinCancersButt AndDiamondPainting, I believe. I have watched some of Stitcherista's. I have watched some of my DP Addiction, but those three who are kind of like the OG diamond painters are definitely my favorites to watch. And there's, oh, I forgot. There's an Australian woman who's the first diamond painting video I ever watched. I forget what her name is, but I'll throw it on the screen because I'll look it up while I'm editing. But yeah, I really enjoy her videos too. So those four. So Abstract Crafter, Diamond Painting with Donnie, KickinCancersButt and Diamond Painting, and then the Australian woman whose name escapes me. And then the next question is, who are my favorite YouTubers in general? So generally on YouTube, I watch kind of a weird mix. It's not quite as weird as my spouse. Like, if you looked at my spouse, you would think he was a very strange person, especially if you just looked at his like YouTube watch history. But my favorite channels are probably Just Buy the Makeup, KitschSnitch, who together are beauty news. Those are kind of like my 3 beauty channels that I really adore. I really enjoy Philip DeFranco and his short news programs that happen every day. Who else? In terms of books, Emily Fox's YouTube channel is definitely my favorite booktube channel. Now, I know I have some others listed in my new to booktube tag, but definitely Emily Fox. And then other things, it's like Looper and What Culture and Watch Mojo would be the other ones I watch a lot. But in terms of like smaller independent YouTubers, not like groups of people, definitely Just Buy the Makeup, KitschSnitch, or KitschSnitch. Forget how you exactly say her name. Emily Fox, Philip DeFranco. There's also, I've recently got into Disney Food Blog, who does kind of updates on Disney, and then the Tim Tracker, which is kind of like a lifestyle / amusement park vlog. Really enjoy them too. So many different things. But if you're talking like big like channels I watch every day, What Culture, Looper, Watch Mojo, those kinds of things. Alright, next. Favorite diamond painting stores, online or in the real world. So I've never actually bought a diamond painting in person. I have looked at the ones at Michael's and oh, was it just Michael's? It must have just been Michael's, because I only looked for them once in the real world. I know people can find them at a bunch of different crafting stores, but I've only ever seen them at Michael's. And for me personally, I couldn't justify paying that amount for a Diamond Dots painting of the size I wanted, because one, I don't like partials. I'm like full or go, or not full or go. Like it's full coverage or nothing for me. I don't do partials. Don't like them. Don't like the aesthetics of them. Probably I might do one just to say I've done one for comparison to other things, but I'm really not a fan. I've only done full drills so far, and the full drills that they had weren't things that were really exciting to me. Like, I think when I looked at that point, the only full drill that you could buy in store was Van Gogh Starry Night, which was not something I was interested in. And I had watched unboxings of that particular picture and Diamond Dots pictures in general, and I didn't want a painting that didn't use DMC codes, that may not be of the best quality. So I've only bought my diamond paintings online. And when I've bought them, I haven't bought a lot. I think I have probably about 20 to 30 paintings. The only stores I've purchased from are Evermoment and Hynynen. And I have 2 really large ones from Kuafe. I think that's right. Oh, and I have Paint with Diamond stuff too. But if I had to pick, I would pick Evermoment pretty much every day, all day. They're by far my favorites. I love the quality of their canvases. I love the quality of their drills. I love the clarity of their pictures. I love their amazing customer service. I love pretty much everything about them. Close second would probably be Diamond Art Club. I'm not as happy with Diamond Art Club, mainly because the plastic in general drives me nuts. And the way their stock seems to work, and how... Because, like, the first time I bought from Diamond Art Club, walking it back, I bought Labor Day last year. and I bought one small bite, which was the old Mandy Manzano Snow White kind of diamond painting that was the stained glass with the girl in the yellow dress eating the apple. And I was really excited for it. I had heard great things about Diamond Art Club. I had seen these beautiful canvases and these beautiful toolkits, and I received one of their old stock paintings. And I was really upset about it. And I started working on it, and I realized that when I had done my inventory, I was actually missing an entire color's worth of drills. And so, being the good, dutiful diamond painter I was, I went to Diamond Art Club and said, hey, can I get replacements? And they said, yeah, sure, we'll what color, how many do you need? We'll ship those out. Well, 2 months later, they still hadn't shipped out, and I had finished the painting other than this one color. And I ended up ordering replacement drills off of Etsy to finish my painting. And I was just really disappointed because everything on their website touted these beautiful velvet canvases, which, like, this one is the velvet canvas, self-flattening canvas, really nice drills, really nice quality drills. And my first order, I didn't receive any of that. Well, I gave them a second try this year, and I ordered 3 paintings from them. So I have the guinea pig, the yin yang owl, and I have the Elizabeth I portrait. And I like them. They're not my favorites. Like I said, Ever Moment definitely for me above and beyond anything else wins. But if you want to do something that ships quickly, that you can have in your hands in the next day or two, go for it. If there's a picture that you can only find on Diamond Art Club, which is most of Diamond Art Club, because they're all proprietary pictures done by artists who they pay, like Mandy. Sometimes they're the only people you can get that picture from. And if that is the only thing, well then that's the only thing. But if I can get it from somewhere else, I will. Okay, sorry about that. Quick break on my end. So I stopped with favorite DP stores. The next one is, what is the favorite diamond painting you have completed so far or in progress? I don't think I have a favorite so far. I liked how Afro Girl came out when I finished her. I'll include a picture of what that looked like when it was finished. But I haven't really been in love with anything that I've finished so far. Because I've only finished 3. So, and I've been through this in my haul video, or my stash video as well. So that I had the Peonies, Love's First Bite, or One Little Bite with Diamond Art Club, and then Afro Girl. And Afro Girl was done for a coworker who asked for that. One Little Bite I did because I really liked it, and I was doing it as part of the diamond paint along contest thing, and I was just too slow and didn't finish in time. But I had bought it ahead of that, and I ended up giving that to one of my coworkers. And then my first one, which was a peony, which I threw out when I moved because I didn't like how it turned out at all. It was a full round of a bouquet of peonies, and it looks okay in photos, but in person it just looked like a bunch of kind of colored blobs. There wasn't any real definition except in like one set of petals. And if the entire painting had looked like that, I probably would have kept it and framed it. But I wasn't a fan of it. But I definitely liked how that Afro Girl picture turned out. In terms of in progress, I have this guinea pig for my friend. And then I have 2 other pictures. I have London Bridge, and I have a train coming out of a train station. The train coming out of the train station, I'm probably going to end up trashing, to be completely honest. I've only completed one little upper corner, but it's from Paint with Diamonds, and the drill quality is absolutely terrible. Basically, half of the drills I've laid down have already popped up. and the canvas is pretty terrible and the drills are pretty terrible. So I'm probably going to end up trashing that one, but that remains to be seen. So if I had to pick a favorite, it'd probably be this guinea pig that I'm doing now. Just because it's colorful, it's bright, it's relatively good quality drills, it's a relatively good quality canvas, and I haven't had anything to take issue with yet. I'm really excited about some of my stash that I have to actually get started working on them. But since I haven't started on them, I don't feel right claiming them as a favorite painting yet. Next question is, do you have a job outside of YouTube? My answer is yes. Like I said at the beginning, this is more of a hobby, or as I implied at the beginning of this is much more of a hobby for me than it is a job. I have a full-time 9-to-5 office job working in healthcare, and I currently am doing a lot of calling physicians and asking if they want to be in clinical trials, which is kind of like being a used car salesman. I don't mind it, but I'm hoping that I'll get to try some other aspects of my job soon. But there's that. Previous to this, I'd worked in a lab, in a pharmaceutical lab, doing material characterization, and I worked in a healthcare firm that specialized in nothing but clinical research contracting. And I enjoyed my job, but I left that job because I felt the company needed to do some growing that they just weren't doing while I was there, where decisions were being made that I didn't agree with, and it felt like things were being done for the sake of money over everything else. But I love my coworkers. I will never stop saying that. I love my coworkers to death. I miss my coworkers from that job greatly, and I wish them all the best. So next question is, tell us about your family. So I'm an only child. I have a mom and a dad. I have one aunt and one uncle, 3 cousins, and a significant other who has 1 brother. Other things about my family. My spouse is a paramedic, and my dad is retired Army. He is now a professional class taker and a volunteer at his local libraries. And mom is a director of pharmacy at a small regional hospital. Spouse's family I'm not really going to get into too terribly much. Number 12 is, do you have any pets? The answer to that is no. Never had any pets. Never had any desire to have any pets. Never want any pets. I am much happier being what my spouse and I jokingly call the cool pet aunt, where I love to go, play with other people's pets, take care of their pets while they're out of town, like going over and feeding the cats or cleaning litter boxes or making sure the guinea pigs have veggie time, as opposed to actually having my own pets. Because I'm kind of like, if you've ever heard that like saying about people with babies where it's like, I don't like having babies, I like being the aunt where I can, play with the baby and then hand the baby back to its mom when it starts to cry. I'm like that with dogs and cats and pretty much everything else. What was your first custom diamond painting? So my first custom was that Afro girl picture that I did from one of my coworkers. I had brought in my peony picture for my coworkers to see because they had been asking about this new craft that I had been doing, and she really liked it and wanted me to do a picture for her new bedroom in her new house. And I was like, okay, that's fine, just pick a picture, I'll order it, I'll tell you when it comes in, just pay me for the cost of the picture itself, and I'll get it to you when I finish it. And so she sent me some links to some Pinterest pictures, and she's like, these are the things that I want. I'm like, okay, I can do one of those. So we both agreed on what we thought would look best. And then I ordered from Evermoment, and it took 3 months for the canvas to get to me, and then another 6 months for me to finish. So when I finished it about 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I went to be like, hey, you can come get your painting, she was like, oh, I don't want it anymore. So I ended up giving it to a new work colleague who I thought would enjoy it, and she was super excited to get it when I took it into her. It was just like, I'm just going to sit at my desk feeling the diamonds all day long. And I'm like, if that makes you happy, it makes you happy. So there was that. We're over halfway, guys. Tattoos. Do you have tattoos or piercings? Yes. Technically my ears are pierced, but the holes are closed currently. I don't wear earrings very often because I tend to have a mild allergic reaction to the studs in my ears, where I can't keep them in for more than a couple of hours because they'll start horrendously itching. Even the really high quality posts will start itching. So there's that. And then in terms of tattoos, I have 3. They're all on my upper thighs. 2 are on my left thigh and 1 is on my right thigh. I have an owl, an old-fashioned airplane propeller, and I have a TARDIS with Deadpool standing next to a TARDIS on the other leg. I really enjoy them. All 3 were done by the same lady. I'll see if I'll link her social media down below in case you want to go check out some of her work and you're in the Triangle looking to get some ink. I highly, highly recommend her. She's also a piercer, and from what I have seen, no one has ever complained about her piercings either. So the next one is, would you ever do a Heaven and Earth Designs picture or not? And if so, what picture? So I actually looked up the pictures the other day because I'd heard about this. So Heaven and Earth Designs is a company that does cross-stitch diagrams. So it's kind of similar to Diamond Iron Club in that they have a group of artists that put together or draw or create pictures that are then converted into a diamond painting. Or not a diamond painting, a cross-stitch plan, and it comes with the diagram of what colors go in what squares, and the list of colors and what the overall picture should look like. And it's a really complicated process to get the designs converted over into diamond painting, because you have to buy the plan, and then you have to figure out, well, how large of a canvas do I need based on the stitch counts, and how many colors am I going to need, and figuring out where to order all this stuff from, etc., etc. But I had to look today because I had never actually gone and looked at this place's designs. I'd seen other people talk about their process for getting these paintings set up, but I had never actually gone to the site to look. And I did find one picture that I will throw a screen grab from the website up here of a dragon kind of on a semi-colorful background. I was like, that's one I could probably try to do. I'm not sure how it would turn out, but that's probably, of all the designs I saw in my 5-minute glance on my phone today, that I would want to do. Favorite quotes. I don't really know how to answer this one because I can't remember any of my favorite quotes off the top of my head. What I will do is I'm going to try and finish this section up, and I will throw up some of my favorite quotes across probably the bottom of the screen because it's the least colorful craziness. So we're going to do that starting now, and then we're going to end part 1 of this video now so I can go to bed because my spouse is home and it's bedtime. And I will finish this probably tomorrow with part 2. If not, I'll do part 2 on Friday. We only have 8 questions left, so not too bad. It won't be too long of part 2 tomorrow. But with that, let us commence some quote scrolling. In case you didn't hear that, that is me spilling an entire container of drills on the floor. So I think with that calamity, I'm going to end today's video, part 1 of this video, and I will see you all in part 2, which will be coming in about 5 seconds. Bye. Alright. Hi everyone, I am back for part 2 of this drill with me, and I'm about to get super resourceful because my light board just died. My really cruddy light board. So and because I don't have a backup and I don't have a regular tablet, I am currently using my old Barnes Noble Nook with a white screen app. And I'm going to do this as quickly as possible because I don't know how much battery life I've got left on this thing. What in the world? As evidenced by that. Okay, I know there's plastic there, and this is why I hate plastic covers. Oh, there we go. Wonderful. Now I've got to place this back down. As you can see, my day is going wonderfully. So while I fix this catastrophe and conserve my battery, let's just keep going with questions, shall we? And you all can marvel at my sadness. Apologies for the wrinkling noises. I know some people get driven absolutely insane by wrinkly noises. So I left off with favorite quotes yesterday. So the next question is one thing I love about diamond painting and one thing that irritates me about diamond painting. If I had to choose. I think for the one thing I really love about diamond painting, let's just do this. We're just gonna rip this the whole way down. And lay it back down. So now I've got 3 separate pieces of plastic that I can work with instead of one giant one that doesn't ever do what I want it to do. So, thing I hate about diamond painting, the plastic covers. I get that the plastic covers indicate a higher quality backing because it normally indicates that the glue is poured and it's not just double-sided tape laid on. And typically the poured glue versions stand up to the travel times and things better, but these plastic covers drive me insane. I'm not sure if you can tell just how crazy they're making me, but it's like now my glue is wrinkled because my plastic is wrinkled because the plastic never does what you need it to do because it's super staticky, etc., etc. Oh, lovely. So I've actually now got 4 pieces of plastic. Joy. Actually, I'm going to step out really quick and grab a piece of parchment paper to see if I can figure out how to make parchment paper work. Because this drives me nuts. It's the one thing I hate most about diamond painting. And normally this stuff drives me fucking insane. Here. Just cut all this out of the line. Should go this way, right? Yeah. So, side with the writing down, right? Yes, side with the writing down. Okay. So I'm just going to change out my plastic cover for some parchment paper, and then I will cut the parchment paper as I need it to so I can get back to actually diamond painting. And I'm really annoyed because now I've got wrinkles in my glue. But whatever. Okay. Sorry if you can hear the parchment paper, but it's one of those things, cut once type situations. So normally it would be this way, no, this way. So it needs to go. I'm really hoping I'm not just fucking this up. Okay, all better. So now I've got parchment paper on. So yes, the plastic covers are the one thing I hate above everything else about diamond painting. If I could figure out how to get poured glue without the plastic covers, I would buy diamond paintings from that company all day long because the plastic covers drive me so crazy all of the time. And I like the paper because when I've done ones that just have a paper cover, it's nice because I can just set out my section. I don't have to delineate exactly where the section is in order for me to work on it. I'm not freaking out about what's underneath or coming. And I'm going to continue to do that because I'm paranoid that this is going to just stick. But so far it's holding up really well. I'll be back. So I'm just going to line out my 3 sections in washi tape. And now that I have little grid lines, well, I know my first section is about there. And so I'm going to use the washi tape to kind of delineate, and then I'm going to cut along the washi tape. Because I know this washi isn't going to stick. But anyway, so thing I hate about diamond painting, plastic covers. For those reasons, because I peel back a little at a time, I don't reveal a huge section. it leads to some issues. A thing I like about diamond painting, I like the feeling of serenity I get when I do diamond paintings because they help me deal with my anxiety, as I've said earlier in the stream. And I just like the feeling that it gives and the sense of accomplishment of doing something positive, not super destructive. All right. So the next thing on my list, favorite color, food, season, holiday, place, movie, and TV shows. So favorite color, it's probably going to be purple. We'll see how that actually goes in practice. I have a custom coming for a friend, to do for a friend, that is a Gengar from Pokemon. And for those of you who are not in the know, or maybe have kids who play Pokemon and have never paid attention, Gengar is basically a giant ghost creature. And I have a friend who absolutely adores them, and she's moving homes soon, and I wanted to do one for her housewarming, but because of the size that Evermoment suggested, it's going to be ginormous. It's a 50 by, I'll put a correction up of what the actual size is, but it's huge, and Gengar is purple. And the poster that I chose as my reference for it is mostly purple. So it's probably going to be a lot of 550 and a lot of some of the other purples, but who knows if I'm going to be a fan of purple when it's all said and done. And yes, I know there's somebody who's probably making fun of my OCD, like picking up and putting down of the paper over and over again because I'm so terrified that it's not going to quite fit the way I need it to, or I'm going to stick the wrong side down. So I'll do that. Everybody pulls up. Yep. All right. So now that we have that straightened out, we will get back to the actual drilling. So favorite color, purple. We'll have to see how much I love purple after the Gengar image comes in. Let's see. Favorite food is probably mac and cheese. It's kind of juvenile, but I really love any kind of cheese, really. But mac and cheese is kind of a dish that my significant other and I make a lot. This is why I'm having these pages. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, you don't. But I really could eat mac and cheese all day, every day if I had to. And I'm back to the shit again. Sorry for the language. I'm just really frustrated with this right now. All I want is to get to the actual diamond painting, and I'm fiddling with covers. But yeah, cheese definitely. If I had to pick one kind of cheese, it'd probably be goat cheese. That's my favorite. I love the tang and the creaminess, and I've yet to find a dish that it doesn't really go well in. So there's that. Favorite season, I'm as horribly stereotypical as it's going to sound. Fall has to be my favorite season. It's the perfect combination of warm and cool And you get all of the beautiful fall colors and whatnot. It's just an absolutely beautiful season, and I love fall. Favorite holiday would probably be Christmas, because that's the one time a year I go home to see my parents. They come up to visit me they come down to visit me every year because they're in DC. But I only go up to see them once a year at Christmas. And so that's really like our big family holiday. I go visit my grandmother, all that stuff. All right, and now we're finally gonna do some actual diamond painting. Woohoo! And this isn't gonna be perfect, but it'll function. It's better than what I had. Yeah. So favorite place. That's kind of a hard one to do. Just because I've never really, like, if we were going generally, it would probably be a library. I really did enjoy my college library. It was a really, really, really beautiful space. If it's like a specific location, I did a summer abroad in London when I was in college, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I really enjoyed it. I really want to go back. My spouse and I are saving up for a trip to Scotland at some point, and I'm really, really, really excited to go, because I've also got this whole section that I've planned for London where I'm like, if this is gonna be our like big European vacation, at least for him, it'll be his first time in Europe, and it'll be my second time. I'm going all out. So like the places that I've got planned for us. What the? Did I break my screen? Nope. Oh, please hold. But the place that I have picked out for our trip are places that were recommended to me. They're probably more fancy than a normal European vacation, but it's like, if this is gonna be our big trip, and at the rate we're going, it'll end up being our honeymoon, it's like, I might as well go all out. There's no reason not to at that point. But I definitely loved my time in London. I also spent some time in Cambridge and Paris, but I really do love Cambridge as well. It's just, I love the size of London. I love all the things that you're able to do while you're there. And it's just kind of a perfect city for me. But if I had to pick like just a general thing, it would be like a library, or going back to London. If I could like spend the rest of my life in the British Museum and their archives, I would be so super happy. Favorite number 13, because it's unlucky, therefore it is lucky. Movies. My favorite movie of all time is The Red Shoes, which is a Powell and Pressburger picture from 1948, I believe. It's one that gets referenced in a lot by ballerinas a lot, and it's one that gets referenced a lot in conjunction with Black Swan, because it was the last really big ballet movie that featured performance in it. And it follows the story of a young ballerina who gets the chance to dance with a prestigious ballet company and ends up catching the eye of the director, and he kind of designs this show, The Red Shoes, around her, which is based on the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, and it features a full 20-minute ballet in the middle, which was the first time anybody had done anything like that in a movie. They didn't think it would work, but it is absolutely breathtaking. Other favorite movies? I love Deadpool. My husband is a big Deadpool fan. Which I'm actually looking over at my movies to see what I've got. Strangers on a Train is another big one. So, like, my top three are probably The Red Shoes, The Devil Wears Prada, or not The Devil Wears Prada, The Red Shoes, Strangers on a Train, and Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. If I have to pick one of the Lord of the Rings movies, if you can throw all three of the Lord of the Rings movies in to say, like, hey, they're just one big movie, I would put Lord of the Rings. So it would be The Red Shoes, Strangers on a Train, and The Lord of the Rings. Other things that are, like, favorites, but they're not, like, my favorites of all time, would probably be, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically the Captain America movies, because Captain America is my favorite Avenger, and yes, I was heartbroken after Endgame when Cap takes his final bow. And then I've got some, like, really obscure Disney, like, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and Aristocats, and Sword in the Stone. In terms of TV, don't know, because I haven't had traditional cable in a while. I basically have Netflix, HBO, and Amazon Prime. Let's see, just what have I been doing recently? Recently, as I've been diamond painting, I've been going back through and watching all of Stargate and Murder, She Wrote. Which, Murder, She Wrote is kind of hilarious if you go back and watch it all the way through. Because, like, when I was a kid and Murder, She Wrote would come on, Dad would be like, I can tell you what's going to happen. And we're like, okay, Dad, tell me what's going to happen. He's like, okay, so somebody from Cabot Cove is going to end up dead, and one of Jessica's relatives is going to be accused, and everything will turn out all right in the end, and Jessica will figure it out. And so now that I've started rewatching them all, I watched some of them when I was in college, because my college had a video library that you could borrow stuff from, and they had the first couple of seasons on DVD, and so I borrowed them on Friday nights and watched them because I was a total loser. And I actually started analyzing it as I was doing my diamond paintings this time. If you actually go back and watch Murder, She Wrote, very few episodes actually take place in Cabot Cove. The majority of them actually take place in big cities, so like Chicago, LA, San Francisco, Boston. And yeah, if you're related to Jessica or you're a friend of Jessica's, be prepared to be wanted for questioning in connection with a murder. But we're going to call this row of pinks the edge of this section. Actually, we'll call this line of red the edge of the section. But in general, Cabot Cove doesn't actually have a body count, because when the episodes that do take place in Cabot Cove or feature Cabot Cove, 9 times out of 10, it's not somebody from Cabot Cove that's being murdered. There are a couple of episodes that are notable exceptions to that, but in general, people who live in Cabot Cove are not the ones who end up dead. Instead, there's a running joke of the episodes that do take place in there within the series, where every time Amos Tupper, who's the sheriff, catches a case, everybody goes to Jessica and goes, Jessica, you've got to help him solve this. He can't do it without you. We all know that you're the real brains behind the sheriff's department. And she just kind of looks at everybody flabbergasted like, are you serious? I'm just a writer. I'm not the brains behind the police department. Sorry if the lights keep going in and out. I keep hitting the bottom button. Let's see what else. So I definitely do those 2 shows. Great British Bake Off is probably my other one. I can rewatch it over and over again. Even though, like, my spouse will come home from work and he'll be like, are you watching that British baking show again? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay. And I'm like, well, these are the 3 challenges, and these are the people who win, and these are the people who go home, and this is the person who ends up winning the season. He's like, and why are you watching it again? I'm like, because I like watching their bakes. The bakes are inspiring for my baking hobbies. Best DP tips and tricks. For me personally, doing 1 color at a time in these little Deica or Elizabeth Ward containers works for me, and I have removable vinyl stickers with the numbers, and so doing it this way without the symbols on them allows me to kit more than 1 diamond painting up at a time. I just normally have the I'll use this one as an example, but like the inventory sheets become my reference sheets. So it'll be like, okay, this is the sideways arrow, and then I'll look for the sideways arrow on the reference sheet. It's harder on the Diamond Art Club ones and the Who Can ones, since they've only got this side ones, but I do it that way. And so like in my 2 containers that I know you guys saw probably earlier in this video, and if not, I'll include a picture of my diamond painting setup. So currently my diamond boxes have 3 different paintings kitted in them, and I just move through the colors. And so as I open new paintings, which some people will be driven insane by it doesn't bother me that much, is the colors will vary slightly manufacturer to manufacturer. So I'm sure you can see in here where there's like a slightly shade off or 2 of blue in here. And that's just because the 2 companies that sent me these blues have different definitions of what this is DMC 334, have different ideas of what that means, though. Actually, please hold for a minute. I'm wondering if I did a stupid, which is entirely possible. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Focus! Yeah, so I did fuck that up. So, not the best example, as I have discovered that actually 322 is in 334, which means I will have to go through and separate some stuff, which I have done before. It is absolutely painful. Though they're close enough and they get used in about the same sections, I think, that it wouldn't bother me if they got mixed up. Let me see if I can find a different example. Is it this one? Oh, rogue drill. But anyway, so as I was saying, sometimes the drill color varies from manufacturer to manufacturer, and sometimes it can look similar, sometimes it can look like that 334 where everything just looks completely different. But for me, it doesn't bother me that they're different, well, they might be slightly different. For me, it's just like, these are all the same DMC number. They all go in the same bin. Now, if they're radically different, like looking at the 334, it's kind of obvious now to me that the 322 got mixed in somehow. Those I do separate. But in general, I don't worry about it, because my goal is, as I'm going through these paintings, just to run through my stock. Not necessarily like be hyper vigilant of this is the exact shade that goes to this painting and only that shade can be on this painting. Like, diamonds are diamonds, and we're gonna have leftovers anyway, but my goal is to have as few leftovers as possible after each painting. Let's see see. Oh, no, 1 T that I missed. And part of how I do it is, one, I'm pretty cutthroat with the quality of my drills. So things that I know will show up on a light board. So like pinpoint holes, obvious holes, only partially filled where it's just kind of like a curved shell. There's nothing really in it. That kind of stuff, I throw them out and they go in my garbage, which is this guy. He's pretty full right now, but that's because I had some pretty gnarly drills. Anything with tabs gets chucked too, just because I don't feel the need to file down the tabs. I haven't had an issue yet where I've run out of a color. I've had issues where colors haven't been sent to begin with, but I haven't run out of a color yet. And so I'm not super concerned about running out. I'm super concerned about what the final product is going to look like. And I'd much rather have a nice final product than try to use exactly the drills that were sent to me. I also find that having just a little bit of color variation between the one color of drills actually ends up helping my final product if I do end up using 2 slightly different shades of the same color. It gives it a lot of really nice dimension, or at least I find that it gives me a lot of really nice dimension. What does a typical day / week look like for me? So, typical week, Monday through Friday, up, go to work 8 hours, come home, exercise, cook dinner, and then I have a to-do list for myself that's normally like diamond paint, do some creative writing, finish the laundry, whatever needs to be done that day. And that's Monday through Friday, and it'll vary slightly depending on whether or not my spouse is working on an ambulance that day, or if he's home. And my one big excitement for the week is I have game nights with my friends. They've just moved to Thursdays from Wednesdays, and I'm kind of excited to have them back on Thursdays. And then on the weekends are normally house cleaning. There's normally like a day to relax and a day to clean. Relaxing days are normally the days I get the most diamond painting done, unless my spouse is home, and then it's normally like date day. And we go out and do something fun together. Sundays are normally the big clean, grocery shop, meal prep, all that jazz. Just the one? No, I need 2. 2 of the lighter blue. Alright, what time am I at? This is gonna be a long trail with me, but what tools make DP easier for me? So for me, the tweezers are probably my lifesend. I use them a lot. The pens are fine. The wax is fine. Everything else is, for me, is just stock materials. I don't use anything super fancy other than a light board, which, for those of you who have or haven't seen, I highly, highly, highly recommend a light board, because not all canvases are as clear as like this guy is. Because even without the light, you can probably still make out what the symbols are. There are some canvases I have where you need a light underneath, or there's no way you're going to be able to tell what the symbols are. Other than that, all the tools I use are stock. Things that they send to you. I don't use the giant multi-placers. I don't feel the need to have special pens or anything because I don't have arthritis or anything, knock on wood. But in general, I don't feel the need to have super specialized equipment. I'd much rather have just nice equipment. Or just use the equipment that they give me unless I have issues, and then find something else to use, like the light pad. Would you recommend DP to your friends? I do. I recommend it to my friends a lot, especially the ones who have anxiety like I do. Most of them already have other hobbies that they do, so they're not as like, yeah, let's do this. A couple of them are big crafters. A couple of them do a lot of extracurriculars. So like one of them is a clogger who bowls and makes her own like wreaths and stuff. And I'm sure she would do diamond painting with me if I asked her to, but it's too much setup and stuff. Plus she has cats and dogs. And from what I understand of people who have pets, this is not exactly a pet-friendly craft. And a couple of my friends just don't have patience for it, but I do recommend it to people all the time. It's like, hey, this really works for me, maybe it'll work for you, try it out. But I never push anything on anybody. I'm like, hey, I think this would be really fun, maybe you should try it out, but I'm never gonna push anybody for anything. Alright, last two questions. So the next question is, anything else you want to talk about? I think these questions have pretty much covered it. I'll probably think of something else as I'm editing this to post, and I'll definitely throw up anything in the text for things that I may have thought about or missed or whatever. And then the very last thing is channel future. So I actually just today, where did my piece of paper go? I wrote out this whole big thing. I got really inspired at work today. No? Yeah. Yep, that is that. So it's this little folded piece of paper I just grabbed from across the table that you guys probably couldn't see. I ended up typing it up while I was at work. I had a spare minute with nothing to do. So I typed up all the video ideas that I... my planner each month. The first one that I've got planned is to do a plan with me for my October monthly spread, since I've already got August and September up or in my planner and done. But yeah, so there are a lot of exciting things coming for me. I'm gonna definitely try and put more stuff out more regularly, and hopefully having at least those 3 videos will kind of keep me on track each month. And I'll put some of this information in the description box as well. But so the biggest thing for those of you that are here is that I'm going to be doing a diamond paint along a month, or drill with me segment. It's kind of like this chatty thing, and I'll probably try and find some more tags and some story time things to talk about. And those are going to go up on the 15th of every month. I might pre-film a bunch of them, but they'll still be monthly on the 15th of each month. And as I get more into YouTube and I have more subscribers and more commenters and things, we can start having, or consider doing, like live streams, drill with me's, or ones where my viewers get choose what I talk about that day. But that is all of my questions. That is everything about my channel and diamond painting that you could ever want to know. And with that, I will sign off. It was fun painting with you, and I hope you guys liked me, and I hope you guys want to come back to see, or to hear / see what I'm working on / what I'm talking about next month. And with that, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!